Hello and welcome to Miss Bailey's Daily Dose. If you're in year 2, you're going to be learning to add 2-digit numbers with no crossing, and if you're in year 3, you're going to be learning to add 3-digit numbers with no crossing using base 10. If you're not sure what base 10 is, it looks like this. It's a mathematical apparatus that's concrete that allows those children to physically see the hundreds, the tens and the ones. You're probably thinking, well, I haven't got that at home at the minute, so I'm going to show you how to make it. So you just need a piece of paper or a few, pair of scissors and a pencil. So to make the tens, you need to make strips. So strips all the way down from one side to the other if you have it landscaped to yourself. And then once you've done those strips, you can cut those strips in half. And then you can draw a number 10 on it so you know that it's worth 10. These ones, obviously that rectangular shape of the tens ones, so that's why they look the same. They could colour them green, they could draw 10 things on it so they know it represents 10. So they're your tens. With the ones, you do exactly the same thing, so you're making those strips, but instead of cutting it in half, you're going to cut it into little squares, and they'll each represent 1. Again, the children might want to colour those in a yellow colour, because the ones are yellow that they see in class, or they might want to draw one thing on it, or just write a number 1, do one heart, one swirl, one strawberry, whatever they like. So they can get creative with them. And you can see here, I've done the number 1 there. And then if you're in year 3, doing the hundreds, it's exactly the same except you want a bit of a thicker one. So don't go too thin, you want quite thick, all the way down. And this time, you're going to cut them into big squares because the 100 pieces are square shaped, so they're big. So big squared, big squares, big squares. And again, you could colour those in blue because the 100 pieces are blue. You could write the number 100 on them. You could draw 100 dots. Might take a long time, but it will keep the children busy. So the next thing that you need to make is a tens and ones place value chart. So this is one that I've printed off the internet. You can get them off the internet for free. If not, you can make one. So this is a piece of paper that I've put a line through, a line across, and put tens and ones in. And then I've got another piece underneath so I can represent that second number. So the first addition we're going to do for year 2s is 23 add 32. For the children to understand how to represent those numbers, they need to be able to identify the tens and then the ones. So this is the tens column and it has 2 tens. So if I use a pen and I put my tens on, you'll be able to see them quite clearly. So if I'm making number 23, I need 2 tens. So I go to my place value pieces and I place them in the tens column because there are 2 tens in 23. Then I need to find my ones. So the other digit, the 3, is in the ones column and the 2 in the 32. Now I need to represent those 3 ones. So I go to my 1 pieces, I know I need 3 of them, and it's really important that we put it in the ones column. We're not putting it in the tens column because these are not worth 10, they are worth 1. So I've made my 23 now, I've represented that using the base 10, and now I need to represent the number 32. So there are 3 tens. So I will go and get my 3 tens and place them underneath so you can see them. And I need 2 ones. So I've represented both numbers and now I need to add them. We always add the ones column first. So if I add these up, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will have 5 ones and then we add our tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tens. So I can now say that 23 add 32 is 55. Now, when the children get really comfortable with using these, the next step is getting rid of the physical concrete base 10 and then drawing it. So if we were looking at it like this, if I know it's got 2 tens, then I'd go to my tens column and I would draw 2 tens, and I know that it's got 3 ones in 23, so I draw 3 ones, just like that. So that's then going from the concrete, so using those physical things, to the pictorial. So as you go along doing those addition calculations, the children will become more and more comfortable with actually being able to move on to this stage, and then you can get rid of your base 10 that you've created. Now I'm going to show you how to do it for year 3s. So for year 3s, the calculation we're going to work out is 123 add 332. So slightly different place value chart this time because we need those hundreds. So I've made this one by drawing 2 lines down a line across, I'm putting a H for hundreds, a T for tens, and an O for ones. And then I've got my second sheet underneath. So again, I place this down, and I do exactly the same thing, except this time I've got to find the hundreds too. So the first digit is the hundreds digit. I place my H to identify my hundreds. Then I need to identify the tens. So I know my next digit in that column is my tens digit. And then I'll represent my ones. Just like that. Now I need to use the base 10 that I've made to create and represent these numbers. So the first number, 123, has 100. So I grab one of the 100 pieces and place it in the hundreds column as it's 100. I need two tens. So I grab two 10 pieces and place them in the tens column. And I need three ones. So I grab my three ones. Haven't added anything yet, I've just represented that first number. Now underneath on this sheet of paper, I can represent my second number. So I have 300s, so I grab three of my 100 pieces, place them in the hundreds column, three tens. Oh, I need to put a 1 in there then. Three tens, and I also need two ones, so two 1 pieces. Again, we always start adding the ones first, so I'm adding these ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Adding the tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Adding the hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer to this calculation would be 455, and I can write that underneath here as I've not got space in.